all the way for the Colonels tonight. And has seen his team come back to tie the score at 2 as we move on to the top of the 7th inning, which in high school baseball is the final regular inning. And of course, we'll move on to extra innings if we're tied after here. And he'll be facing the 2, 3, and 4 batters in the Western lineup. Right fielder Mike Hudson will start things off. Mike has really been confused and confounded by George Mianowski tonight. He has struck out all 3 plate appearances. Western Wildcats athletic community got a real jolt earlier this weekend when Willie Martinez, who was just named as the head football coach last month, handed in his resignation.
Yeah, I read that yesterday.
So that really took them back, and I'm sure really a big disappointment to them because they were hoping that he was a guy who was going to help turn things around out there.
He was a great ball player at Hollywood Hills, football and baseball, and then University of Miami. Now they have football season, spring season in about 3 weeks, and they've got to find a new coach.
Yeah, it really puts them in a bind. As is Mike Hudson, as he's in the hole, 2 strikes. Fastball, and I think poor Mike Hudson just doesn't have a clue of what to expect from Mike Mianowski or George Mianowski tonight.
Right there on the knees, good pitch.
And that is the 11th strikeout tonight for Mianowski. And the opposing pitcher, Bob Christoph. He scored the 2nd run for Western back in the 5th inning. He is 0 for 2, struck out, grounded out, and walked with a stolen base. 1-strike pitch, curveball, hits it right on the nose. Could be in the gap. Christoph heading for second base, and he'll pull in there.
That was a real nice job of hitting there. That was a good pitch. It looked like it broke sharply to the outside. He stayed right with it and did exactly what he should have done, in the right center with it.
Bobby Christoph injects some life into the Western dugout. We'll take another look. Puts it right in the gap between Voracek and Claude Love. Voracek gets to it. And Christoph is in with a stand-up double. You can see the good base running there, not looking back at the ball, but rather at the third base coach to find out whether he should continue or stop at second.
They've walked the next batter intentionally, set up the force.
All right, so Tom Bottleson ends up down at first base. And Western has runners now at first and second with 1 out. Billy Goldman, the scheduled batter. So another challenge for George Mianowski. Last inning, he got out of trouble with a beautiful 6-4-3 double play. I'd like to turn the same right here.
Saved by the catcher there.
Starts Goldman off with a fastball way outside. Billy Goldman struck out twice and singled. Fastball high.
This is also time when you're a coach. This is when you really...
You can feel it for him, right, Ed?
Right.
2-ball pitch. On the outside corner for the strike. No action in the Colonel's bullpen. But they could go to one of their players in the field if need be. They've got Brad Sheets and Sean Fisher, other two members of their starting rotation out there. Right back to the pitcher, to the shortstop for no signal yet. I think is he safe or out? The second base umpire didn't make a signal.
Well, the runner, if he didn't, the runner's off the field already, so I think they'll get him for out of the baseline. I think he heard you. He just gave the out sign.
We get a look at Harry Ozias. Let's look at the play again. Right back to Mianowski, and it looked almost like it would have been a tailor-made double play, except I think some confusion as to who was going to take the throw.
And that's something they should talk about before each batter. They should just tell who's going to be there. Maybe it's the only time they didn't do it all night, and when it comes to get him.
So Bowelson retired at second base. Kristoff moves over to third. Goldman now becomes the runner at first base. And the batter is the designated hitter, Matt Wilson. Wilson singled his first time up and then struck out twice.
This is in there.
In the gap, one run will score.
They might get in the foe. Nobody covering first. They had a chance. Right fielder was playing real shallow. If the first baseman was there, they had a chance for a play. When you see on the replay, he was only right behind the infield when he caught it. It would have been close, though, but he had a small chance.
So a clutch base hit for Matt Wilson as he picks up the RBI. Kristoff coming in with the third run. Billy Goldman holds down at second base, and it's a 3-2 ball game. And Kenny Smith coming out now to have a word with the umpire. And I think he's asking about putting in a pinch runner. And it looks as if he's going to.
And this would be the second time he's running for number 9. Wilson is the DH, and he ran from the first inning. And then the high school rules, that'll be the second time he's coming out. So either 4 is going to become the designated hitter or the player he's designated hitting for. You can see he's not running real well, which is another reason that they might have had a play at first.
So Joey Ponton, the center fielder, comes in to pinch run for Matt Wilson.
He never did call a re-entry. That's his right. They're going to claim he never re-entered him.
And I don't know if Bart's going to win this one.
What Bart's saying is that when he re-entered the DH, he never said he was re-entered because they pinch ran from him in the first inning, but they would have had said something in the next time at bat. This is 2 times later, so. I got caught on that this year. I forgot to re-enter a player, and the other coach picked it up, and it was my catcher and 4th hitter. The 6th inning or the 7th inning of the ball game.
End up costing you?
Well, we won the game. We won the game, but I had to take Andy Holland out of the ball game, and I don't like to do that.
Don Fowler now having a word with Ken Smith. So Kenny Smith heads back to third base, and I think it's going to be status quo. So
he had a good argument. If they never re-entered him, and he brought it to the attention of the umpire, and the umpire says no, he never told him he re-entered, then it should be an out, and it should cancel the hit.
The batter is the first baseman, James De Silva. Sacrificed in the first inning, grounded out, and then singled in the 6th. That's a rip at a fastball. 1-1. Well, the inning started off well enough for George Mianowski. He struck out Mike Hudson, the leadoff batter. That's a call strike. Then Bobby Kristoff got a double in the right center field gap. Bottleson intentionally walked. Billy Goldman got on base with a base hit. And then Matt Wilson, the RBI single. Excuse me, Golden tapping back to the pitcher. That's how he ended up on base on the force out. At any rate, 2 outs, 2 on. Western leads by a run. And Mianowski now out in front, 1-2.
Paul, got another one, Paul.
Ooh, almost got away from Reardon.
He's got to be up over 120 pitches, I would say, by now.
Good look at Paul Reardon. Good job of saving that last pitch.
He broke that one off. It was a high breaking pitch, but he's been calling that pitch all night.
So for Western here in the top of the 7th inning, they come up with 1 run on a couple of base hits. They leave 2. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, pressure on the Colonels. They trail it 3-2. Good hitting in the top of the 7th. They lead 3-2. And he will be facing the number 9, 1, and 2 men in the Plantation lineup. He'll get some encouragement from his fellow teammates as Jason Donahue, the shortstop, steps in. Jason 0 for 1 tonight. He sacrificed back in the 3rd inning and then flied out in the 5th. So Jason Donahue will be going up against Bobby Christoph, hard-throwing #1 member of the Western staff, who came in relief back in the 5th inning for the starter, Joey Ponton. Good breaking ball to start him off for strike 1. Look at that last pitch. Breaking down and in right across the strike. On the inside quarter for strike 2. So Jason, with barely time to settle into the batter's box, finds himself in a big hole, 0-2. Fastball. Short center field. Ponton racing in to make the play. Good bit of hustle by Joey Ponton to retire Jason Donahue.
The Ponton showed that he can go out for the ball and come in for the ball. It's good outfield in there.
Kind of a looping hit towards center field, and Ponton.
A nice jump on it. It's not as easy to get a jump anymore with the aluminum bats as it was with the wood bats. With the wood bats, you could tell whether it was crunched or not. The aluminum bats, they sound good whether you hit them good or not.
Leadoff man, Claude Love. Takes ball 1. Love has walked twice and then grounded out his last time up. And sophomore trying to get something going here for the Colonels in the bottom of the 7th. It's now 2-0.
You want to get him on right here, and he's a leadoff hitter, so he should have good speed. He ran well on the ground to the 3rd before.
Fastball, 2-1.
Here we go, 14. Here we go.
There's a nice hit. That's a base hit.
Well, it's the opposite way. Stokes up with the ball and will hold him to a single. But a nice piece of hitting by Claude Love as he drills a pitch to the opposite field.
He looks good for a young ball player, I'll tell you.
from the center field angle.
See that head down on the ball.
Frank Stokes over there quickly, and the ball jump away from him momentarily. 1 out, 1 on. And it's the left fielder, Brad Sheets.
Coach Graff's got a big decision to make here with the tying run at first, if he's going to take a chance on running him.
Third baseman, McCoskey, in looking for a bunt.
Come on, Brad. Go, Brad.
It's not really getting a big lead, but they're concerned.
Mark Graff says he's got great speed. Fastball outside. Well, it's kind of an interesting situation. You got a guy out there who probably could steal a base for you, but he's just a sophomore playing in his second varsity game.
He might have the raw talent right now, but not maybe the experience running. Maybe doesn't get the jump yet.
I
think he's going to send him. I think he is.
Go, Brad.
Sheets is a good contact hitter. He's going to put it in play.
You don't have to worry about that now.
Rifles it right back up the middle.
Now they got the 3 and 4 hitters coming up, and there's the 2 lefties coming up. So they got what they want. Boy, that's a nice hit.
I thought it was a low fastball he went after.
It was a good pitch by the pitcher. There was nothing wrong with the pitch, but he went down and got it and stayed right on top of it.
So back-to-back singles from Claude Love and Brad Sheets, and it sets it up for the catcher, Paul Reardon. Reardon had a big double back in the 6th inning. He ended up scoring the tying run.
Well, he's got the 2 big left-handers coming up now.
So Bobby Christoph knows what needs to be done. 1 out. Runners at first and second. His club up 3-2. So the Western infield love to turn 2 right here.
Oh, he's anxious up there. Might have been a little bit high.
Christoph gets the first strike. Checks Love down at second. Sheets goes after the bunt, and
I don't know if he was bunt for a hit or if they were going for sacrifice, but that's putting a lot of pressure on the next man. You got your 3 and 4 hitters up.
So now Paul Reardon in a situation just to try and protect the plate as he's down 2 strikes.
That's right, Paul.
Cat and mouse game going now.
Relax now, Paulie. Go, Paul.
Brad Sheets down at first base. Potential winning run.
Oh, there's a shot.
Shot down the line.
He's going to send him. He's sending him. Oh, he
Here
dropped
comes
the ball.
Love. The ball's bobbled. Love will score standing up, and we're tied up. Sheets down to third.
Let the runner go to third.
So a big 2-strike single by Paul Reardon sends Love across with a tying run. Sheets rambles into third.
That was a good piece of hitting, going down to get that low pitch and lining the ball. All 3 of those hits their heads were right down the ball.
And there you see Claude Love coming across to the celebrating Plantation dugout. We're tied with 3, and it's not over yet. Plantation with runners at first and third, still just 1 out. And their big man, Sean Fisher, stepping in.
They got to bring their outfielders in. That's a winning run at third base. Fly ball's going to score them anyway. They get 2 or it's over.
They go for 1, back to first. Not in time. And the Colonels rally here in the bottom of the 7th inning to pull out an exciting 4-3 win over the Western Wildcats. Well, as you said, Ed, it was do or die on the grounder to shortstop when they decided to go for 2 instead of trying to get the runner at the plate.
It's a big gamble.
Well, there you can see the intensity in those young men's faces. They really wanted to pull this one out.
Well, I know the pitcher's happy. He really pitched hard all night. He had a real courageous performance by Mikowski.
So George Mianowski gets the win tonight to even his record at 2-2. And for the Colonels, they extend their record on the season to 11-10. And for the Western Wildcats, they go to 9-10-1. Well, Ed and I will be back and wrap this one up in just a moment.
Can understand the way I feel. Oh, put me in cold. I'm ready to play today. Put me in cold. I'm ready to play today. Look at me. I can be center field.
And we've had some exciting finishes on some of our sporting events on Inside Broward Sports, but Ed, I think tonight has to equal up with some of the exciting ones that we've seen. And just another example that in baseball, like in the other sports, as Yogi used to say, it ain't over till it's over.
Right.
And Plantation worked it right up till the end tonight.
Both teams fought back and forth the whole game. It was a real exciting game and I thought, a well-played game. The one pitcher who stayed in the whole game, Mikowski, I was real impressed with the bulldog-type effort he gave. He stayed out there the whole game, and I know he threw a lot of pitches. He'll have a tired arm tomorrow, but a real exciting finish. They hit the ball real good when they had to at the end, and it was a shame either team had to lose in that kind of game. I know it's a cliche, but both teams battled back and went ahead, and then the team that was up last won the game. It was that kind of ball game.
So the final line score for the Plantation Colonels, 4 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. And for Western, 3 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. George Miankowski gets the win, and that evens his record at 2-2. And Bobby Christoph, in relief, takes the loss. His record on the season goes to 4-5. Well, Ed, thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule. I know you had a busy day today, and this just made it a little bit longer. But good luck to your St. Thomas team.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here. We really appreciate it.
And I hope we see you later on this season down on the field there again, too.
That'd be
and
great.
thank you all for joining us on Inside Broward Sports. We'll be back with another high school event, same time next week. Hope you'll join us. All right, buddy, that's it.